think people really talk about this part. What it's like in life when life gets hard and it just doesn't let up. Not a bad day, not a bad week. I'm talking about a hard season that just keeps on going. When you keep thinking, okay, maybe after this, it'll get better. And it just doesn't. And over the last year and a half, I've learned some things through this hard season I just did not expect. Lesson 1, you can't plan your way out of everything. I've always been someone who plans, like really plans. I thought if I could just think far enough ahead, we'd be okay. Like if I just prepared enough, thought through every possibility, stayed ahead of things, then nothing would really catch me off guard. But this season has shown me life doesn't always follow your plan. You can do everything right, be responsible, be prepared, and it still completely change overnight. And I think that's been one of the hardest things for me, realizing that control was never really mine to begin with. And it's humbling in a way I didn't expect. But it's also been a reminder that God never asked me to carry that. Lesson 2, the future can shift overnight. I was literally planning for my husband's retirement, and he's only 32. Running numbers, trying to make sure we were set long term. I would sit there thinking about years down the road, trying to make sure everything would be okay eventually. And now we're facing the reality that he may not even be able to physically work to retirement age. And that changes how you see everything. Because it makes you realize how fragile our plans really are. And how quickly things can shift in ways you never seen coming. It's made me stop looking so far ahead and start realizing how much I was living in a future that was never promised to me. And instead, learning to trust God with what's right in front of me. And honestly, today was one of those days where that reality hit again. The day I'm filming this was a really hard day for my husband. His pain was so severe, and he had a headache that he could not get to go away. He actually had to miss church this morning, and the atmosphere in our home just felt really heavy. Like, quiet, but not peaceful, just sad. And then later, watching him get ready and leave for work, knowing how much pain he was in, but still going anyway, that part really gets me, because I see how hard he's trying. I see how much he's pushing through this for us. And it hurts to watch someone you love be in that kind of pain and still feel like they have to keep going. And it's moments like that where the reality sets in. That one day he might not be able to do that anymore. That this might not be something he can push through forever. And that's something we're still trying to process. And I think that's the part of why this season has changed the way I think about everything so much. Because it's not just about the plans changing. It's about learning to trust God with a future that doesn't look the way you thought it would. Lesson 3. Gratitude looks different in hard seasons. I think one of the biggest things this season has taught me is gratitude. Not in a cliche way, not in a just be thankful kind of way, but a deeper kind of gratitude. Like learning to hold on to the small things when everything feels uncertain. The normal days, the quiet moments, the routines that used to feel ordinary. And honestly, God has really used this season to change my heart about my home. There was a time when I was honestly embarrassed of it. I compared it. I wished it looked different. And I didn't fully appreciate what I had. But in this season, He's taught me to be grateful for it, to take care of it, to see it differently. To stop looking at what it isn't and to start appreciating it for what it is. And that's been really personal for me because I've realized this home is still a blessing. And learning to take care of what I have, even in a hard season, has been something God has really worked in me. If you watched that video I shared about my home, you probably understand a little bit more of what I mean, and I'll link it if you want to watch it. Have you ever been in a season like this where things just feel heavy for longer than you expected? I feel like before, when something hard would happen, it would pass pretty quickly, but this time, it hasn't, and that's been really hard. Lesson 4, you can't force answers. I've wanted clarity so bad in this season. Like, just tell me what's going on. Tell me what to do next. Just give me something solid to hold on to. But I'm learning, answers don't always come when you want them to. And sometimes, God doesn't give you the full picture right away. And the waiting, especially waiting without clear answers, it stretches you. It forces you to sit in the unknown in a way that's really uncomfortable. Lesson 5. Life doesn't pause just because you're hurting. Even in the middle of all this, life keeps going. You still have to wake up, take care of things, go about your day, even when you don't feel okay. Even when mentally you feel overwhelmed or tired or unsure. And I think that's something people don't always see. Because from the outside, everything can look normal. But inside, you're carrying a lot. Lesson 6. You're carrying more than you thought you could. There are days I feel completely exhausted, mentally, emotionally, all of it. Days where I just feel worn down from the weight of it. But somehow, we're still here. Still showing up. Still doing what needs to be done. Still taking the next step, even if it's small. And I think that's something this season has shown me. You're stronger than you think you are, even when you don't feel strong at all. Lesson 7. Faith isn't always peaceful. I think I used to think faith looked like peace all the time. Like if you had faith, you just felt calm and sure. But in a hard season, faith doesn't always feel peaceful. Sometimes it just looks like choosing to trust when nothing makes sense. Choosing to believe when you don't have the answers. Sometimes it's quieter, sometimes it's messier. And it's not always emotional or obvious, but it's still there. And sometimes that's what faith looks like, just not letting go. Lesson 8. You're not as alone as it feels. One thing I didn't expect was how many of you said you're in a season like this too. Waiting, hurting, trying to figure things out. And reading your comments, hearing your stories, it's made me realize how many people are quietly walking through hard things. And honestly, that has meant so much to me because it's reminded me I'm not the only one in this. And you're not either. And I'll be honest, part of why I've been so consistent on here recently and why I've pushed so hard to grow this channel is because I want to make sure we're okay. I wanted to do YouTube for a long time, and I really do love this community, but there's also a deeper reason behind it. I want to be able to help carry that financial weight. If there ever comes a time where my husband can't, I want to take some of that pressure off of him. And that's something that's been sitting really heavy on my heart in this season. I don't have everything figured out, and I don't know exactly what's next. But I'm choosing to trust God in this season. Not just when things make sense, but even when they don't. Because I know in His hands that none of this is wasted. And if you're in a season like this too, where things feel heavy, uncertain, and stretched longer than you expected, I just want to remind you that God hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't overlooked your situation, and He's still working, even in the waiting. So friend, don't give up and don't lose heart. Even here, especially here, He's doing something that you can't see yet. And I know that's a reminder that I sometimes need too. Even when it feels like he's not working, he is. He always is. And he's always there for you to bring your worry and your cares to.